Hello, everybody.
Next is James Greer.
He's in the audience, Your Honor.
All right.
Come up to the podium if you don't mind.
He's ready for a plea.
No, I haven't spoken to Mr. Greer. I didn't.
How you on? How you doing?
Seeing him, Lister.
I'm good, Mr. Greer. So, Mr. Greer, you're represented by the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis. So these two attorneys, one of them is going to speak with you about your case.
Can I got something to say, Your Honor. I was here one time before on
Yes,
this
sir.
case.
Yes, sir.
Somebody used my name on this case. I came and spoke to you one time before, like on the Mr. Identity. The only reason I knew about this case,
We'll talk.
I went to the
Okay. So, Mr. Greer, hold on a second. Talk to your attorney about it, because if we talk about it before, that means the solicitor's office has done some research on this case and they may have given that information to your attorney, okay? Because generally, if somebody has their identity stolen, the investigators will do the research when we announce it in court, okay?
Yeah, I announced this one time before, Your Honor, and I've been locked up twice about this, and this is not me, Your Honor. Like, honestly, like somebody used my name.
Okay, let's get the investigation. Let's see what happened the last time you were here, and let's talk with your attorney so he can get the information that the state might have on that, okay? Because we can pull pictures, whoever was arrested or whoever has been given your name. There might be body cam, any of those things that your attorney can access, okay?
Yes, please, Your Honor, because I'm tired of going through this. This is not me. I've been arrested for something I didn't do.
I got you, Mr. Greer, but I'm gonna tell you, it's usually somebody close to you. It's usually a cousin, a brother, a good friend who's using your name if that happens. So you might need to look real close to you. But talk to your attorney right now, okay?
All right.
All right.
Mr. Greer is going to enter a not guilty plea.
Okay.
However, I would request if Ms. Hagler can hopefully see if her investigator can check whether there's body cam. I know that's part of the discovery process, but I think that
there's no body cam, and he wasn't arrested on that date, so I can't even get a photo. So no.
Well, that would be consistent with it not being him. So
there is no body cam available. I'm saying we don't. There is
no. I understand the fact that there's no body cam and there was no arrest made is consistent with his that it's not him. That's all I'm pointing out, and I would hope we can maybe do some investigation.
Hold on, Mr. Lynch, he said he's been arrested a couple of times for this. So is it possible that the person who is using his name has done this before? Like if you check with the jail and see what the LE number and photo is that the jail has for Mr. Greer, and see if it's him or if it's somebody else. Because it's possible they've done it before and been booked.
But I think he may have been arrested multiple times for missing a court date based on this. But
because they're not sending.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that's certainly.
And also check the address that's with the clerk, because if the person, didn't have, like he says, I don't have my license or something, then, I'm gonna give you my address. Check and see what address they have in the clerk's office. Because if it wasn't a previous address for Mr. Greer or a current address, that is more, indication that it's somebody using his name and address.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna keep in touch with Mr. Greer and hopefully we can get this resolved pretty quickly.
All right, thank you.
I sent you a note in the chat.
Thank you.
Okay. So Mr. Greer is not guilty. Good morning, Mr. Trotter.
Good morning.
All right, raise your right hand for me, sir. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can put your hand down, sir. You're before the court on case 2024 CR 08024, Gerald Flynn Trotter Jr. for no license, count 1, speeding, count 2, reckless driving, count 3, and obstruction of an officer, count 4. You're represented by the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis. Mr. Taz Taylor is with you. Mr. Taylor, what is your client plea to the offenses before the court?
Your Honor, my client is pleading guilty to each of the 4 offenses.
By entering a plea of guilty, Mr. Trotter, to counts 1, 2, 3, and 4, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And sir, if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Pursuant to the probable cause affidavit that was completed by Officer Richard, R-I-S-H-A-R-D, Dames, on or about September the 9th of 2024, while he was running his LiDAR on Park Villa Way and Point South Parkway, Officer Dames clocked the defendant speeding, traveling 49 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone on Point South Parkway. At that time, Officer Dames attempted to conduct a traffic stop on the vehicle using his emergency lights and sirens. The defendant jumped out of the vehicle without placing the vehicle in park and began running. The defendant ran into the direction of a Chevron gas station located at 8550 Highway 85, Jonesboro, Georgia, also in Clayton County, and officers engaged in a foot pursuit. Also, the defendant's vehicle continued driving forward due to it not being placed in park, and the vehicle made contact with a curb in the gas station parking lot. Officers were able to catch the defendant inside the Chevron gas station and place him in custody. And after placing him in custody through officers' MCT database, it was brought to his attention that the defendant did not have a valid driver's license. At that time, the defendant did confirm that he did not have a driver's license and that he knew that he was not supposed to be driving. Again, this incident did occur in Clayton County, Georgia. Your Honor, for count 1, the state's offer is 12 months to serve, 30 days, balance probated, a fine of $1,000. Count 2, a fine of $100. Count 3, the defendant is a complete defensive driving class, 40 hours of community service, a fine of $1,000, and then for count 3, a fine of $300.
All right, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Your Honor. While my client is pleading guilty to the charges enumerated, we do feel that $2,400 in fines is a bit excessive given the totality of the circumstances and the fact that Mr. Trotter has been in custody for about 43 days at this point. The situation with the reckless driving is based upon him not putting the car in the park and the car rolled away.
Yeah, that's pretty reckless.
It is reckless, but the typical reckless that we see before us is people driving in a very high speed and disregard for other people manner. This situation I personally don't believe it rises quite to that level, although I think a defensive or a driver improvement class is appropriate. I think $1,000 and 40 hours community service on that issue, along with the time they spend in custody, is a little overreaching.
And Your Honor, if I may,
go ahead, ma'am.
I want to say, well, to add more information to the situation, there were other travelers on the road when the defendant put his car in park. So other travelers their safety was at risk as well. So it's still considered regular driving.
On parking lot, you're saying?
Okay,
they were driving on Highway 85, the incident location.
Hold on.
Yes, Your Honor.
So Mr. Trotter knew he didn't have a license. Mr. Trotter knew he wasn't supposed to be speeding. The fact that the on the no license, the fine is $1,000, which means this is his second no license. So he is known he hasn't had a license for a while. And so all of this is reckless in the grand scheme of things if you use the the small R as opposed to the big R, all of what he did is reckless. So Mr. Trotter knew he shouldn't have been on the road. He knew she shouldn't have been speeding. I don't understand how you on the road and you know you don't have a license and then you speed too. That makes no sense. And then when somebody pulls you over, instead of taking the 2 tickets, the no license and the speeding, you double down and say, oh, well, let me just jump out of the car and run like officers can't run and catch you. I just don't understand it. So all of that was reckless. And then letting your car roll around so that it might impact somebody else or cause someone else to have an accident. That's all reckless. And so I'll give him credit for counts 2 and count 4 for time served. I'll give him credit for those fines in lieu. So time served in lieu of the $100 fine on count 2 and the $300 fine on count 4, but on counts 1 and 3, Mr. Trotter seems to want to spend more money on the courts than getting his license straight. And I don't know if that's child support or what is going on, but the money you're paying us, you could have used to go ahead and get your license back.
I want to get it back, man.
I know you want to, but I mean, you haven't done it. You haven't done what it takes to get it. And what I'm saying is, I'm not going to keep waiting for you to want to do it.
Yes, ma'am. I had attempted to go to Fayetteville. I had took the written part at one point.
And
before
did you fail it?
I was going to take it again.
Yeah, shouldn't be driving. All right. So yeah, so I'll send you to 12 months to serve 30 days. Balance probated for you to pay a fine in the amount of $1,000 on count 1. That's $1,420 with the surcharges. Count 2 is $100 fine suspended for time served. Count 3 is 40 hours of community service driver improvement course and $1,000. That's $1,420. That'll run concurrent with count 1. And count 4 is $300 fine suspended for credit for time served. Mr. Trotter, I find that I'm just getting frustrated with people who make crazy decisions. So instead of going ahead and getting your license and spending a little bit of money, you risk it and then end up spending a lot of money. But hopefully you will learn from this situation that get your license, sir. I mean, it's not that hard. If you're having trouble passing the test, then get a teenager to tutor you because they know everything. I'm just saying, get it done. So you can go back with the sheriff's office. The probation office will contact you. I will say this, that the quickest way to get rearrested is to fail to do your probation reports and to get the special conditions of probation. So all of these are special conditions of probation. I want that noted. And on the driver improvement course, you're going to take the one that's approved by the Department of Driver Services. Do not go Googling. You're going to go to the website for the Department of Driver Services, and you will take the one that is approved by them, and they have several, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. I have to say goodnight. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.